Is you ready to do it? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? It's your boy InkyMann.
I've been running for the money since I was a youngin', stacking all these commas just to get.
Today is Monday, and it's not Motivation Monday, it's Make 'em Mad Monday. Because a brother's about to make you mad. Maybe. So, if you've been watching my shows, my past shows when I'm talking about America erasing its history, I've been getting a lot of feedback on that, online and offline. All right? And a friend of mine, and yes, he is a friend, even though he said what I'm about to tell you. A friend of mine was commenting on the show, saying it was a good show, and then he brought up slavery. And I was addressing slavery within the American history segment. And he said,
I'm tired of slavery because I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of dealing with it. It's not our fault. Why are we still paying for it?
Woo, I just heard like a whole bunch of feathers get ruffled listening to that. Yes. 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 This is a friend of mine. And see, the thing I like about America and free speech and controlling your emotions is that when you allow a person to talk, they tell you who they really are. And either you accept them or you don't accept them. But the reality is they tell you who you really are. And me being up here in Massachusetts, close to Boston, I'm discovering a lot. This is Trump country. That's number one. And again, I'm not gonna put racism on Trump because racism has been around. He just seems to be the poster boy, the scapegoat for racism. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it'd be no different than when Obama was in, and all of a sudden all kinds of white people were getting beat up and all kinds of violations was happening to them, and the news was reporting it. Now, some of that stuff probably was happening, but if it was at the level of where things are now, it would be the same. If it was at, there's a rally, a bunch of black folks rallying in whatever group that has been formed, and a bunch of white people got attacked, or they were run over by cars, or any of that stuff, and then the people were reporting it, then it'd be the same thing as what's going on now. The difference is there is none, because this always has been going on. It's been going on. So don't let the media, and yeah, I'm a member of the media, don't let the media really get you out of your square. Anyway, with that being said, I know how to talk to people and not get emotional when they say things that they say to me, because it's really not that serious. Again, I hurt when you touch me. So other than that, he said that, and it made me think, let me bring up this topic. Are white people tired of hearing about slavery? Are Mexican people tired of hearing about slavery? Let me be more general than that. Sorry, Mexicans. Sorry about that. Latinos, Asians, everybody that is not Negro, African American, black. Are you tired of hearing of slavery? Now, the thing that was interesting about what he said was that slavery didn't begin with us. And I might have to do a little history myself, because as far as I know, slavery was developed not by what we see. That was like a counter product, or not what we see, what we read about or have been taught about. It is actually, the whole world is all about world domination. Groups of people are about world domination, okay, which is why white supremacy is such a big issue, because it's all about white people dominating the planet, okay? But in all actuality, all groups of people want to dominate the planet. Just some are more skilled than others. Some use other tactics than others. True? True? True. So the thing is that when it came down to domination throughout history, you've had African tribes, you've had Eskimo tribes, you've had all these tribes of people including just sets of people that have tried to take over. Alexander the Great, Napoleon, that have tried to take over areas. And when they take over areas, they bring their ideals, their culture, the things that they do, and they try to make everyone that's a part of the captive audience, if you will, they try to make them be who they are. Languages are developed like that. Cultures of people have been developed like that. Some people have stolen culture, made it their own by changing it. Sound familiar? And then turning around and making it look like it's their shit. Only to use that same culture and spread that culture and do other things with it. Sound familiar? So anyway, I thought it was very interesting because he said that Vikings had slaves, and where I'm going with my point is, I've heard, haven't read, that African tribes used to take over one another, and when the one tribe bested the other one, then they would make that tribe that lost their slaves. And if I'm not mistaken, then other groups of people, Portuguese, Spanish, others, came into our country, or came into Africa, sorry, not ours, Africa, saw that this was going on and this was a cultural thing. They started to emulate it. They started to bring it over to America, just like products, which is why we were seen as products, and brought over black people from Africa and made them slaves. So, with that being said, this kid also pointed out that, other Africans, he was actually agreeing with this woman, that other black people own other black people as slaves, and I believe that to be true. I'm only saying my beliefs because these are the things I've heard and I haven't done any research. Maybe I need to, but this is just for you to get mad. Anyway, so there's been all forms of slavery. Look in the Bible, Jews were slaves, And so the thing about it is that when other cultures have come into America, whether on their free will or being brought here or being imported or just coming here to try to make themselves better, other cultures, like Chris Rock said, came here, they felt dissed, and they said, fuck you, America, Little Italy. Fuck you, America, Little Poland. Fuck you, America, Spanish Harlem. You see what I mean? I mean, you hear of Little Africa and things like that, but the reality is, because our culture was stolen and we don't really have a culture, we've had to develop a culture, and no matter what we develop as a culture, it gets stolen, so it never seems to be ours when it's in its heyday. You can agree or you can disagree. That's what the whole thing down here is about. But because we didn't have that, we don't form Little Africa. To be quite blunt, there are Africans that don't like American black folks. They just don't like us. There are other groups, Haitians, Jamaicans, that do not like black folks. I've heard of Trinidadians that don't like Jamaicans, and so on and so forth. You see what I mean? So for the African American, which I really don't like that title, because again, there are Africans that do not like us. We don't have a culture like that. Okay? Now, some people will probably go and say, well, you eat soul food, you listen to rap music, R&B, jazz. Okay, yeah. Some of that stuff is true, but soul food was developed by the slave masters. It was what we had to make lemons out of lemonade. Other forms of music were music that we came up with through African tribes and other things that we've had that made up a rhythm. And other people came along and stole it and then made it theirs or made themselves popular in it. Sound familiar? So anyway, I know I'm rambling, but I'm saying some stuff that should make you mad. Go ahead and comment below. I'd love to hear what you got to say. Are you tired of slavery? Are you tired of hearing about it? Because it's not your fault. It's not your ancestors that did it. It is not you who did it. Whatever.
This concludes the broadcast from World Control.
Let's pretend like this.
Hey, see my name right there? Go ahead and type that in or snap this photo to join me on Snapchat. Hey, thanks for supporting me. And if you didn't already, see that head right there? Go ahead and press that to subscribe. And go ahead and check these videos out. Because why not? What else are you doing? You watch this one, why don't you watch another? Later.